They say the privileged halls of Jefferson Academy run on two dangerous assumptions. First, that a black kid must be lying about his father working for the Pentagon, and second, that nothing bad ever breaches the walls of an elite school, until one morning, both those illusions got blown to pieces right in front of everyone. All it took was Parents' Day. Miss Anderson's signature condescending smile froze on her lips as my dad, Jonathan Carter, walked through that classroom door, not as the janitor or low-level clerk everyone guessed, but as the mind that literally safeguards a nation. Yeah, you could have heard a pin drop, and I, Malik Carter, age 10, sat there feeling a mix of pure vindication and something close to fear, because my dad wasn't there just to set the record straight. He was there to handle a threat that followed him into this school, one nobody believed existed until it walked through the door, wearing a badge most folks here couldn't even imagine. Let me back up a sec, because this mess started like every other day. Me, wrestling my tie in the mirror, feeling like I was getting choked before breakfast even started. My dad's downstairs at the table, reading off his tablet, always looking like he's got 100 things running through his head, but still catching every little thing I do wrong. He slides over a plate, eggs, toast, nothing fancy, and asks if I'm ready for career day. You know that tone grown-ups use when they're about to drop some advice, but want to see if you're going to listen first. That's Dad. I'm going to tell them you work at the Pentagon, I say, hoping it sounds as cool as it does in my head. He shoots me a look. Just remember what I always say. I finish the line for him. Some things are safer if you don't say too much. He smiles, ruffles my hair. Smart boy. Let's roll. Now, Jefferson Academy is this fortress of brick and money. Gates higher than my confidence some days. Manicured lawns. Audis and Teslas lining up out front. I get out of our old sedan, shoulders back, trying to fake that I belong as much as the next kid. Inside, my best friend Ethan finds me. Red hair, always running late. Never makes me feel like I have to pretend. He asks if I'm nervous for Ms. Anderson's class, and honestly, I lie. Of course I'm nervous. My classmates are bragging about mergers, senators, and who their mom or dad knows, in D.C. Tyler's talking about some $50 million deal his dad just closed. Sophia's got senators on speed dial. Me? All I've got is the truth. Ms. Anderson waltzes in right on time, perfectly polished. She does that thing, friendly, but with steel behind her smile, and says we'll start our presentations alphabetically. Carter, that's me. My stomach hits my shoes. I go up, trying to remember to stand tall. My dad works at the Pentagon, I say, voice shaking. For half a second, the room goes silent. Then Tyler snickers, and everyone starts giggling. Ms. Anderson doesn't stop them. Instead, she actually joins in, all fake surprise. The Pentagon, really? She winks at the class. What does he do there, Malik? Is he the president, too? Laughter again, my face burning. I stand my ground. No, ma'am. He works in security operations. She cuts me off, dripping with sarcasm. I'm sure he does, honey. Maybe next time, stick to the truth. Walking back to my seat, legs heavy, the only person who sticks up for me is Ethan, who pipes up that he's seen my dad's badge. Ms. Anderson's smile tightens. That'll be detention if you keep interrupting, Ethan. The rest of the day drags. By the time Dad picks me up, I just want to disappear. He knows. One look, and he knows. Rough day, he asks. I unload it all in the car. They laughed. She called me a liar. Dad keeps his voice calm, but his grip tightens on the wheel. Sometimes being underestimated is an advantage, he says. How's being called a liar an advantage? I shoot back, not buying it. His phone buzzes. Work, of course. We'll talk later, he says. That's code for, I've got to save the world, son. That night, I can't sleep. There's a black SUV outside, engine running. A guy gets out, talks into his wrist like something out of a spy movie, scans the street, gets back in. I tell Dad. He's not even surprised. Don't worry, he says, go back to bed. That's what he always says. The next morning, Dad's gone before I wake up, left a note saying Mrs. Thompson from next door will drive me to school. She's kind, asks about Dad's job. Important work. This country needs men like him, she says, but with a look that says she knows more than she's letting on. Meanwhile, Dad's not at home. He's deep inside the Pentagon, briefing with other bigwigs about some cyber attack that's got everyone on edge. Just then, an aide runs in, whispers something, and Dad's whole face changes. Turns out, Someone just tried to breach Jefferson Academy's database, the same way the Pentagon's been attacked. Dad bolts out of the meeting. Back at school, Ms. Anderson keeps the humiliation rolling. She praises other kids' parents, then rips on my imagination again. At lunch, Ethan tells me his dad lost his job, the factory's closing. Suddenly my problems seem smaller, but then I spot a woman in a trench coat across the street, snapping photos. Something about her feels official, like my dad. That night, I push Dad for answers. What do you really do at the Pentagon? I ask. He deflects. Meetings, reports, nothing special. Then why the surveillance? Why the black SUVs? I ask. He just says, some things are safer if you don't know. That's not good enough, but I don't push. Then, on the drive home, my school tablet lights up with a weird code. Dad gets tense, runs diagnostics, tells me to call him if anything strange happens at school. Ms. Anderson keeps digging at me, even makes a snide joke about the Pentagon when we talk about government buildings. Only this time, I'm ready. The Pentagon has double the bathrooms, because of segregation in the 40s, and a hot dog stand the Soviets thought was a secret bunker. The class laughs, but not at me. Ms. Anderson looks like she's swallowed a lemon. For once, I win. But then she throws down the gauntlet. Why not bring your father to Parents' Day, Malik? There's challenge in her voice. Sure, I'll back down. I don't. He'll come. That night, I tell Dad. For the first time, he doesn't hedge. I'll be there, he says, with a look that says he's done playing nice. When Parents' Day comes, the whole place is buzzing. Dad rolls in with a Pentagon badge clipped to his jacket, 3 black SUVs outside. Ms. Anderson's face drains of color. Dad shakes her hand, cool as ever. The principal hustles in, tells the class Dad's a senior security strategist, and wants him to give a talk. As Dad speaks, he talks about how prejudice and assumptions are the enemy of good security and life. Ms. Anderson actually blushes. Tyler, the ringleader of my tormentors, asks if Dad's ever been in a gunfight. Dad's answer is smooth. Preparation, teamwork, and yes, danger. But before he can finish, his phone vibrates. He's out the door in a heartbeat. The principal announces a lockdown. Routine, he says, but no one believes it. Turns out, there's been a breach in the school's system, security cameras disabled, doors hacked. Dad takes over, gets everyone calm, tells Ms. Anderson to lock the door. Tension's so thick you could cut it with a knife. Suddenly, FBI agents are swarming the building, including the woman in the trench coat from before, Agent Ramirez. Dad, Ramirez, and the principal coordinate. Turns out, someone's planted high-grade surveillance tech in the school, targeting the server room and my classroom. Tyler's dad blames mine for bringing trouble. Ms. Anderson, for once, defends us. It gets real when a maintenance man, outside our classroom, tries to mess with the door. Ramirez shouts, FBI, and the guy bolts. Dad chases him through the school, ends up in the cafeteria, and, yeah, you guessed it, there's a knife fight. Dad handles it, drops the guy, and as the FBI cuff him, Dad tells him, you picked the wrong school. But there's more. Another operative, a blackout, students being hustled toward the exits, FBI everywhere. My dad pulls me and Ethan down as the lights cut. Panic, shouting, glass shattering. Someone's trying to break the evacuation. Dad keeps his cool, gets us outside. Ms. Anderson right behind, finally seeing the real danger up close. Out on the lawn, with police lights flashing and FBI everywhere, I finally get it. This is why Dad misses school events. This is what he's protecting me from. The agents find surveillance gear everywhere, including Ms. Anderson's classroom. Turns out, the bad guys used the school to target the home networks of government officials' kids, like me, using us as a backdoor into national security systems. Ms. Anderson, in tears, apologizes. I just nod, because honestly, what do you say to someone who never saw you until today? Later, the FBI tells Dad the Corey group, foreign operatives, was behind it. And Malik Carter wasn't just a name in their database. I was a target. They even tried to grab me, using the chaos as cover. My dad's old enemy, Volk, the one with a grudge from Syria, led the operation, trying to leverage me for secret files. It became personal. When they snatched me from our own panic room, Dad turned the world upside down to get me back. Tracked me with a chip in my watch, took a sniper, Agent Ramirez, and went full-on tactical, breaking into a Delaware warehouse, bringing me home, and putting Volk behind bars, at least for now. Back at Jefferson, things changed. Principal Hayes overhauled the school's security and, maybe more important, the culture. Ms. Anderson, shamed and shaken, led efforts for real change. I got the apology, yeah, but more than that, I got the respect I never thought I'd have. Even Tyler tried to be my friend. For the first time, I didn't feel like a ghost in those halls. Ms. Anderson asked me to share my story with the class, to talk about what happens when you make assumptions, when you refuse to see someone because they don't fit your picture of belonging. I thought about it and said yes. And as my dad picked me up from school, I realized I wasn't just the kid whose dad works at the Pentagon anymore. I was someone who knew what it felt like to be doubted and what it meant to finally be believed. They say heroes never announce themselves, that they just show up when you need them most. My dad's that kind of hero. But you know what? Maybe we all could be, if we stopped doubting people who don't fit the box we built for them. So here's what I want to know. How many times do we shut someone down just because their truth doesn't sound like the one we expect? Tell me, what's the line between healthy doubt and dangerous prejudice? Drop your thoughts below, because this story isn't over until all of us figure out what real justice looks like.